What's going on guys, it's Unknown Player here, and today we'll be talking all about the Gjallarhorn Year 3 gameplay and also how to get it and all the details you need to know about the weapons in general. So if you haven't heard, the Gjallarhorn is returning in Year 3 with the Rise of Iron. There are a lot of details about the weapon and there's a lot of confusion for sure about how to obtain it and what it's going to be, so I want to make this video to summarise it all and explain exactly how the Gjallarhorn is obtained and what it's going to be. So when Rise of Iron launches, there is going to be a quest in-game for everyone to obtain the Gjallarhorn. Everyone gets it, and that's going to be the original version we got back in Year 1, the gold version. Absolutely everyone is going to get it, no matter what you pre-order. Everyone is going to get this quest to earn the Gjallarhorn. Funny enough, we're actually going to build our own version. I'll get into that a bit later, but it's going to be a quest to actually build our own Gjallarhorn, and that is how it's going to be obtained. Now, if you pre-order Rise of Iron as an expansion, you're going to obtain the Iron Gjallarhorn, which is basically a black and silver version. There doesn't appear to be any differences between the Iron Gjallarhorn and the normal one. The only difference we know of so far is that this new one is black and essentially a different paint job. It's a special version of the weapon, but essentially, in summary, everyone is going to get the Gjallarhorn, but you can, if you pre-order, get an Iron version which is black and looks a little bit different. We've got a little bit of gameplay in a trailer that was released for the Gjallarhorn and shows off exactly what the weapon is going to look like. As you can see, it's got a slightly different paint job. When you see it in use during what appears to be the strike boss, the machinist, and you can see it being fired. When it explodes, we can see that it's definitely still got the Wolfpack rounds as a perk, which is really interesting. There was a lot of speculation, and I wasn't sure whether they would keep the perk on it or make it a different rocket launcher, but it seems this Gjallarhorn is still going to have the original perk of the Wolfpack rounds, which is the reason why the weapon was so powerful in the first place. Now, in terms of firepower, I'm pretty sure they will nerf it. They did actually nerf it a little bit before the Taken King came out. Funnily enough, even though it wasn't in Year 2, they did nerf the Gjallarhorn just before the Taken King in that week before and reduce its firepower. But it seems the Gjallarhorn we're getting in Year 3 is the same version with the same Wolfpack rounds. But the question is, are they going to nerf it once again? Because it still seems a little bit powerful. I'm not sure whether it's to their liking or whether they want it to be as powerful as it is, or maybe they're going to overshadow it with even better weapons. Bungie have said numerous times they don't want us to be using the same weapons for the entire of Destiny's life cycle. That makes perfect sense, and it would get very boring if we were still using the Fatebringer and the Black Hammer and the Gjallarhorn for Year 2, Year 3, Year 4, and the entire of Destiny are basically using the best weapons in the game. I want to be using different stuff. I want to find new best weapons in the game. So I think it's fair enough that you kind of rotate the weapons and make some good and some bad. But it appears Bungie still want us to have the Gjallarhorn, and seeing as it is one of the most fan-favoured weapons in the history of Destiny, they've brought it back. So the question is the weapon going to be powerful? I'm pretty sure it's going to be exotic. They haven't said anything that indicates otherwise, and it is going to be the same way it used to be in Year 1, which made it very, very powerful. And because of those Wolfpack rounds, it was one of the highest dealing DPS weapons in the game, apart from the Black Hammer if you're getting headshots. This weapon was simply the best weapon to melt bosses and do substantial damage. So is it going to be still that in Year 3? We don't know. I personally doubt it. I really do not think Bungie would make the mistake of having this be the best weapon in the game. If that were to happen, we'd pretty much spend all of Year 3 using once again the Gjallarhorn for all of Year 3. So I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Bungie would make that mistake, especially after saying they don't want us to use the same weapons for the life cycle, which, like I said, is understandable. I think it's going to be a good weapon. It's definitely going to be awesome to use again, and I have no doubt this thing is going to pack a punch. And as we've seen it in the gameplay, it's still got those Wolfpack rounds. So the question is, what is going to overshadow this weapon and be the new best one in the game? Because in my eyes, there is no chance the Gjallarhorn will be the most powerful in terms of DPS. There's me something else to overshadow it. Like in Year 2, we had the Raise Lighters and the Exotic Swords. Those are by far the best weapons in terms of dealing DPS. But the downsides of those weapons is, of course, they are melee weapons, they are swords. So you have to go right up to the bosses and to the enemies and actually deal damage personally, instead of standing far away and just shooting the rockets and fire and forget. You actually have to go up to the bosses and deal damage, so you have to deal with their ultra melee slam and possibly get stomped by them. So that was the main downside of using the Raise Lighter. That was what I think made them some of the best weapons in the game, because some enemies you can, some enemies you of course can't. You can't just go to a raid boss and start swording him. Of course he's going to stomp you, but I'm fairly sure they'll make a way for this Gjallarhorn to be relevant and definitely usable, but not the best weapon in the game. It is also entirely possible the Gjallarhorn Year 3 might not even be exotic. It could be a legendary weapon. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think the Gjallarhorn is going to be, legendary or exotic? Because like I said, Bungie have not yet said the rarity of the new Gjallarhorn. So like I mentioned earlier, the way you're actually going to get the Gjallarhorn is through a quest in-game, and you're going to be building your own version of it. The Gjallarhorn originally in the lore was actually built after the Battle of the Twilight Gap, and it was forged from the armor of the Guardians that fell. So it seems like we're going to be going around possibly the Plaguelands or wherever the Twilight Gap was, and collecting some parts for the weapon and forging our own version of the Gjallarhorn. It was actually created by a guy called Feasel Crux, who is part of Crux Lomar, and those guys created a lot of rocket launchers, namely Dragon's Breath and Truth. So maybe they're going to become a foundry in the game that we interact with, possibly a vendor, and maybe those are the guys who grab the quest from, and those are who actually give us the blueprints to build our own version of this Gjallarhorn. So either way, I cannot wait to get my hands on this brand new version of it. It's going to be awesome to get our hands on the new version in year 3 and actually use the weapon once again. It's been in my vault for a very long time and I haven't used it, which is unfortunate. It's probably one of the best looking and best designed weapons in the game, so I cannot wait to use it once again. It was easily the #1 fan favored weapon in the history of Destiny, so it's no surprise that Bungie decided to honour the weapon and bring it into year 3 with the Rise of Iron. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video talking all about the Gjallarhorn. Leave a comments down below. What do you think is going to be exotic or legendary? And do you think it's going to be the new best weapon in the game? I absolutely cannot wait to find out more. So drop a like rating on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.